Hola mis amigos, we're making espresso cupcakes. For this recipe, we are going to need to make some espresso. And I know that making espresso can seem like a pretty daunting task, but with this little guy, you do not need to be a fancy barista to do so. This is the Minos espresso maker, and you also have the option of getting the sugar bowl as well as the creamer container with this to make this a complete set. And I will have links to each of these products in the description box below, as well as an awesome 15% discount code. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you some footage of me making espresso using this machine and showing you how simple it is. And then we are going to set our espresso aside and begin to make the rest of our recipe. For the dry ingredients, here I have 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And to that I'm also going to add 1 cup of sugar. And we're just going to get all of this whisked together. For the wet ingredients, we're starting off with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract along with 1 teaspoon of vinegar. And I know the vinegar sounds weird, but it is going to make this nice, soft, and moist. And also this is a vegan cupcake recipe because we're not adding any eggs, so that's going to help out with that as well. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of vegetable oil and 1 cup of the espresso that we made earlier. And we are just going to get this nice and blended until we have a nice smooth batter. Since the espresso is nice and warm, this is pretty easy to do. I've added the batter to my muffin tin, and you want to fill them about 2/3 of the way full. And I would say that this would make about 15 cupcakes or so because I have enough batter left for about 3 more. But I would say just go ahead and plan on making 12 normal-sized cupcakes. So I'm going to place this into my 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes, and then I will allow them to cool. The cupcakes are out of the oven and are cooling quite nicely, so let's go ahead and make our frosting. For the espresso buttercream frosting, here I have 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted butter that has been softened, and to that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of our wonderful espresso. And I am just going to get these nice and creamed together at low speed. Once your butter and espresso are nicely blended, we are going to add 3 cups of Confectioner's powdered sugar. And I would highly recommend that you fold this in first before deciding to switch over to your mixer so that you don't get it all in your face. And then you'll be able to blend it in nicely. And you can add more of either the espresso or the powdered sugar until you get your frosting to the consistency that you want it to be. The cupcakes have had their chance to cool, so I have placed my frosting into a freezer bag, or you can use a piping bag. And I am just going to pipe this onto the cupcakes. And as I've said before, I am not so great at decorative baking. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B, and that is to get these things frosted. So I'm not going to be doing anything too fancy about these. So there you have it, guys. I want to thank Minos for sending me this wonderful espresso maker. And if you would like to get one for yourself, remember you do have an exclusive 15% Amigo discount. So be sure to check out the description box below where I will have the links to their products as well as your discount code. Espresso Cupcakes. Enjoy, and I'll see you at the dinner table.